Some people think the Greataxe is a brain-dead weapon, an unskillful amateur-hour face-roll option of weaponry. You wanna know what I think? I see a Greataxe, a full-size 4x4 Jeep Wrangler Transforma Giga Chad Alpha Male. We're not just spinning to win, we're out here mowing the grass of the battlefield, chopping down every peasant in sight, and weed whacking like we're getting paid for it. So the next time you pick up a Greataxe, just know you're not just choosing a weapon, you're choosing a goddamn lifestyle. Welcome to the Greataxe Club. Welcome to Scripted Gaming. Hey you guys, welcome back to another Albion online video. I hope you've all been doing well and are excited for this week's Greataxe content. I see a lot of people asking about axes in PvP, wondering if they're any good, what kind of PvP you can do, and what kind of builds make for a good choice for the Greataxe. So for this week's video, we're going to be doing a Greataxe PvP guide. We'll be diving into what kind of PvP content you'll excel in, breaking down the weapon spells and abilities, and what makes the Greataxe build strong and viable. If you guys enjoy the content, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos every Sunday. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. To kickstart this guide, we're going to look at what types of PvP content the Greataxe can engage in. The number one source of content the Greataxe can be used in is open world PvP, for both small scale and large scale fights. The Greataxe offers massive AoE damage and excels in engaging the enemy head on. With the weapon's E ability being uninterruptible, it poses a massive threat to the enemy group, forcing them to use defensive cooldowns or eating devastating amounts of damage. Another form of content you can do is Hellgates. Whether you choose 2 vs 2, 5 vs 5, or 10 vs 10, the Greataxe is a strong choice for all team sizes. With the weapon's amazing source of damage and bruiser-like game style, it fits into most compositions and makes for a great fit in any Hellgates squad. Our third source of PvP is going to be the arena. This 5v5 battle is the Greataxe's playground and is also an extremely good place to practice and learn the weapon. With the arenas including teams of 5, this gives the Greataxe a great opportunity to practice engaging teamfights and landing massive combos to defeat the enemy. And last but not least, we have Corrupted Dungeons. This 1v1 environment is a great place to try out different builds and test your skills. The Greataxe isn't considered a meta weapon for Corrupted Dungeons, but can still be used to a great effect. You can check out my other videos to see just what a Greataxe can do in 1v1 Corrupted Dungeons. Now that we know where we can use the Greataxe, we'll be looking at its spells and abilities and which ones you should be using. To start off, we'll be looking at each Q ability and what they do. The first Q is Rending Strike, a great single target ability with a very short cooldown. Each strike will apply a bleed to the target, which can stack up to 3 times, in result applying a healing debuff for 5 seconds. The second Q is Rending Spin. This AoE ability will be your bread and butter for open world PvP, Hellgates, and Arena. This spinning strike will also apply the bleed effect, as well as the healing debuff at 3 stacks. Our third and final Q is Rending Rage, a powerful strike hitting everything in front of you. This ability has 3 charges, with the third charge causing you to jump and root the enemies you land on. If you're looking to maximize DPS, be sure to use 2 charges of Rending Rage, wait for the charges to reset, and then rinse and repeat. Each charge of Rending Rage will apply a stack of bleeds. Moving on to the W abilities, we'll be starting with Deadly Chop. This is a powerful single target strike that also reduces your target's resistances for 8 seconds. Next we have Adrenaline Boost, which will be your go-to ability in most cases. Adrenaline Boost increases your damage, attack speed, and movement speed for 7 seconds, making it the perfect ability to combo with Whirlwind, but we'll talk about that more later. Thirdly, we have Battle Rush, causing you to charge and decrease enemy healing or increase ally healing. This ability is more useful in large-scale PvP, but can be used in small groups or solo content, such as using it in a combo with a healing potion or ability. Our fourth W is Internal Bleeding, hitting every target around us and applying a bleed. Unfortunately, this ability is a bit underwhelming as the bleed damage is rather low and requires the enemy to move in order for the bleed to deal damage. The last W is Raging Blades, hitting enemies around you and increasing your damage per each enemy hit. This ability becomes very strong if there are multiple enemies around you, making it super viable for large and even small scale PvP. Next we have what makes this weapon as dangerous as it is, Whirlwind. This causes us to spin and deal massive AoE damage, hitting each target around us and increases its damage with each consecutive hit. This ability is also uninterruptible, making us the ultimate Whirlwind of Death. Lastly, we have our passive abilities. Deep Cuts causes every 4th normal attack to apply a short bleed to the target. Life Leech causes every normal attack to steal health from the enemy. Increased Defense causes every 5th normal attack to increase our resistances for 2 seconds. And Aggressive Rush, which causes every 4th normal attack to increase our damage for 3 seconds. With all those abilities out of the way, these are typically the spells that should be used. Our Q, Rending Rage, which can be swapped out for Rending Spin for AoE purposes. Adrenaline Boost for increased damage to combo nicely with our Whirlwind. And Deep Cuts for our passive ability. Now that we know what spells and abilities to use, we'll be looking at what makes a Greataxe build strong and which pieces of gear we should be using. When choosing a Greataxe build, we'll want to have the following. An AoE damaging spell to combo with our Whirlwind. This spell is commonly on the chest piece slot and is usually a leather or cloth type of gear. As the Greataxe provides great amounts of damage, we'll also want to bring 2 defensive abilities. This can be provided by certain types of capes, potions, and helmets. For mobility, we'll want to make sure our boots provide us with enough movement speed to chase down a target. With that, choosing boots with a sprint ability is always viable. For this guide, I'm not going to cover a specific build, but instead I provided some gear that is viable in many situations. So let's start with the helmets. We have the Mage Cowl, Scholar Cowl, and Spectre Hood. For chest pieces, we have the Mercenary Jacket, Stalker Jacket, and Hellion Jacket. For boots, we have Guardian Boots, Soldier Boots, and Royal Sandals. And for capes, we have Thetford Cape, Martlock Cape, and the Fort Sterling Cape. For potions, I recommend using either Resistance Potions, Poison Potions, or Healing Potions. And for food, 3 good choices are roast pork, pork omelette, and beef stew. If you're looking for a specific build to use, you can check out my other videos where we go in depth for each individual build. And that about wraps up this Greataxe PvP guide. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it, or maybe if I missed anything important. If you guys made it this far, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your support, as I really appreciate each and every one of you. Take care guys, and I'll see you next Sunday.